Do you ever get to the library and just wonder how to choose the right books for your child? Or do you ever wonder when you pick up a book what kinds of things you should be thinking about to decide if that book is right for your child? Today, I want to share what I think about as a teacher when I pick up a book for my child and how I know if that book is going to be a good fit. And I'm going to be using an example book today, and this book is Caps for Sale. It's one of my favorites for my kids, and my kids really love this book as well. So, the first thing that I'm always thinking about when I'm trying to choose a book for my kids is whether or not the book is a topic that my kids are going to be interested in. So, this book, Caps for Sale, is about a peddler, which my kids may or may not even know what that is. But the book also has monkeys in it. And the monkeys are very mischievous and they make noises. And so for my kids, it's those monkeys that really draw them into the book and get them interested and excited. So I'm looking for books that have a topic that my kids are interested in first and foremost. After that, the next thing that I'm going to do is look at the layout of the book, just kind of page through and look at the pictures and the words. And one of the first things that I notice about this book is that it has some really nice colorful illustrations. So that's good, but it also has quite a few words on every page. This page has a lot of words. If I turn the page, this page has a lot of words. Not all of the pages have this many, but this is a book that I would read with at least probably a preschooler because I'm going to be looking for a child that has enough attention span to sit and listen to me read 3 whole paragraphs before we turn the page. If your child is younger and you're really dead set on the book, you can sometimes skip some of the words, maybe just read the first sentence in each paragraph or kind of summarize the story to give them an idea of it. But if you really want to read them the book, you really have to look and see if they're going to be able to have the attention span to sit through all of the words on the page. I also am going to look at the vocabulary of the book. On the very first page, this book uses the word peddler. And my kids, when the first time we read the book, they had no idea what a peddler was. So that wasn't necessarily a problem for us. It was just something that I knew I was going to have to think about that word as we were reading the book together. If your book has a lot of vocabulary words that your kids don't know, it might be a good idea to consider waiting a year or two or choosing a different book for your child. The last thing that I want to look at when I'm choosing a book is the theme of the book. I want to think about if there are any things to notice in the book or things that are concerning for my kids. So in this book, the peddler falls asleep under a tree and the monkeys take his hats and then he has to get those hats back from the monkeys and he's able to trick them to get the hats back. So there's probably a good lesson to be learned here about not being lazy, but there's also some mischief and stealing that's going on. So I'm going to want to make sure that I save this book until my kids are old enough to understand that that's not a nice thing to do. And we might have a discussion when we're reading the book about that and about how the monkeys are not being nice to the peddler by taking his hats and how the peddler is not being nice when he's yelling at the monkeys to get the hats back. So that's a lot of fun in that section for kids, but it's definitely something that I'm going to address as we're reading the book together. And the book might be a really good teachable moment if my kids are taking toys from each other to be able to talk about what it feels like when somebody takes something from you. So those are just a few things that I'm thinking about when I'm choosing books for my kids. Please feel free to share in the comments what it is that you think about when you're choosing books for your kids.